John Stubby, Cedar Rapids Gazette. I don't remember seeing Jazzy Patterson out there on Saturday. Can you kind of comment on his status, and do you have a sense of how quickly Seth Anderson could get back on the field?
Yeah, so Jazz, that was the coach's decision to keep him out. He'll be back. Was back with us yesterday, and we expect him to be ready to roll this week. And great young guy, just something we decided to do. Seth it's not as bad maybe as we thought initially, but nonetheless, I guess it was last Wednesday. I think we met Tuesday, so the next day, of course. And, it doesn't look as bad right now. We'll probably know a little bit more here by the end of the week, but it won't be this week. It's, hopefully we're talking about a week or two, not multiple weeks.
Coach, Jeff Dubrov, KCCI in Des Moines. I thought a great stat that came out of the game last Saturday was Reese Vanderzee was the first true freshman wideout for Iowa to score a touchdown in the season opener since 2006. He obviously had 2 in the game, the first freshman to do that since, I think, 2017. When was it, if there was a moment that you saw in practice, that this was the type of guy who could make an impact at such a young age? And if it wasn't a moment, what did you see that, I guess, gave you confidence in him? Excuse me.
Yeah, I'll go back to recruiting him. We were really excited about him. And I saw him 2 years ago, I guess. I saw Zach playing basketball a lot more. And he was out there playing, and I got to go up and see him during our bye week last week. Saw a couple games that night, and just like he's playing quarterback, just like the way he handles himself, carries himself. And then it was frustrating this summer because he had a multitude of things that kind of held him back from the summer program, just general training. And so, he missed a lot of time that way. Fortunately, he was able to get back and get going. And since we've been in practice, he just carries himself well. I don't know how well you know him. I don't want to say he's expressionless, but he doesn't get real, demonstrative. He just really steady, very focused and mature for his age, I think, and his experience level. So he just continues to grow, continues to do a good job with whatever we throw at him. And as we went on, it just became apparent to us that, he's probably the guy to have in there. And, I thought he, again, just watching on TV, it looked like he really performed well the other day. And I'm out on the sideline seeing him and all those things, but he just seemed to handle things in stride. So it's not too big for him. And, he certainly likes to compete. And it was good to see him go up with his hands and catch balls and, make some plays for us.
Mitch Fick, KGAN, I know you guys have had camp and scrimmage with helmet comms and tablets, but what have you heard about how that worked out on Saturday and the advantage it can bring to just get instant feedback?
Yes, it seems like all the feedback was really good. I was curious about that Sunday morning. And, yeah, it seemed like everything went pretty smoothly. No major delays. I guess, they run a little bit behind with the tablets. But, no, it sounded like it was really good. And I think everybody thought there was a benefit to it for sure.
Owen Sebring with KGAN. Last year when you guys played Iowa State, probably didn't know a lot about Rocco Beck. That was the only his second start of his career. Now you've had a chance to see a lot more of him, a lot more game film. As you look at him this week, what are some challenges that he particularly presents to your defense? Yeah,
when I talked about them being a veteran team, veteran in the key parts, and that's one of the ones positions I was referencing. Well, he's not an old guy, but he's really played enough now where I think he's a very confident guy, very, very poised, and just does a good job running their offense. So they've got a really talented group of receivers. Tight end Brahmer's a really good football player, so they've got guys that they can get the ball to, and I'm sure they will. So he's done a really nice job leading their football team, and I'm guessing his best football is still ahead of him.
Chad Lystico again. Wanted to ask about Caleb and Caleb Johnson. Obviously, was out in the first half. Is there anything he needs to be doing better to be in good standing with you guys, et cetera, et cetera? And then also Caleb Brown, how's he looked in coming back this week? Will he be a part of your plans on Saturday? Yeah, he's looked good, both those guys. And, anything that happens along the way, we just our deal is like we deal with it. And then my encouragement for everybody is we're looking forward. We're not looking back unless there's a reason to. And Caleb has really practiced well. I get two Calebs here. All right, yeah. Caleb Johnson, let's start there. The first guy you asked about. He's really been practicing well and did a good job. And when he went in there, I wasn't surprised. He just it's how he's been practicing. Really focused and hit the holes hard and all those types of things. So it's good to see that. That's probably as good as well as I've seen him run the football since he's been here. And great young guy, got a great attitude and good. And then Caleb, it's going to be good to get him back too. And, so the deal was last week he worked on the scout team against our defense and
Phil and those guys said he did a great job, and that's what you're hoping to hear. So he had a great attitude about it. He's back in the rotation now, and yeah, he'll be out there Saturday. I don't know how much, but he'll be out there. Yep.
Blake Hornstein, Hawkeye headquarters. Coach, I think maybe some people wondered if the passing game would come along, and first new system, obviously Kate coming off of an injury, but to see the success that it had in the first game of the season, is that a pretty encouraging sign moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's encouraging, certainly. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think the line, we're a little bit more veteran up there. I thought the guys overall protected pretty well. That didn't seem like that was an issue at all for us, so that was helpful. Cade working through, his leave of absence for a while, going through that. He's been on a little bit of a sabbatical, medical sabbatical, so working through that. And then the receivers did a good job for the most part, going and getting the ball, running good routes, things like that. So, good combination. And some of those plays that Cade made were under duress, not necessarily because of a breakdown, but those guys blitzed a lot, had free rushers coming. So thought he handled that situation well, too. We got plenty of blitz practice on Saturday, no question.
Adam Jacoby, Hawkeye Beacon. Kirk, how would you evaluate Kamari Moulton, getting that start in that, sort of odd situation? How do you think he did with that opportunity that he got?
Yeah, we talked about Reese, and same thing. I mean, Kamari's been here for a year, but he's a young player. Really doesn't have much game experience. So I thought he did a lot of good things. He really did, and he handled it well. He's just a really steady guy. Every day is pretty much the same with him. It's a good day, and works hard. So that's again, you can't simulate things, game experience, and for players like that, the younger guys that haven't played, boy, this is a really good experience for them to be out there in competition, tough competition, and having to perform. And those are two guys right there that haven't done much for us, but certainly have a chance to help our football team a lot, whether you talk about him or Reese Vanderzee. Yep.
Tyler Tashman with the Des Moines Register. We were just talking to TJ Hall, and it sounded like he took the Nebraska game pretty hard, the one two seasons ago when he kind of got thrown into it.
Yep.
How have you seen kind of him grow from that moment to where he is now?
Yeah, I'm not laughing about that. I'm laughing in that, name a player or coach who hasn't had that. That's just part of the journey, if you will. And that's kind of what I was referencing with teams. You're going to go through hard times, and we went through it Saturday. Offensively, we were up against it a little bit, and the guys just kept pushing forward. And player like TJ, he's probably been a little too hard on himself. If I'm talking about that one specific incident, but it's part of playing football. Whether you're a first-year guy like that, or it could be a senior. What's your response going to be? That's the major thing in sports. And he's done nothing but good things. Missed a lot of time due to injury, which was unfortunate, and that slows development. But this spring, really looked good and has had a really nice camp. And it's good to see him in the fray like he is. He's doing a really good job, and he's got a lot of football in front of him.
Kirk, LA Clough, Hawkeye Beacon. To revert back to Cade a little bit, I guess can you tell a difference in maybe his confidence or the way he's carried himself? Maybe not even from Saturday, but from camp, because again, what we saw Saturday was something we haven't seen from Cade
right.
in black and gold.
Yeah, I mean, just hope that was coming, and but there's no guarantees on that one. And he's always been confident, and I think he knows what to do and all those types of things. But at some point, you just got to do it, and then you've got to sample some success or taste it a little bit and experience it. And again, you can't hand that to a player. They've got to go out and do it and work through it. And it hasn't always been easy, on a couple of levels. So credit to him for sticking with it and fighting through that first half. It didn't go perfect for us, obviously, but came back and just did some really good things in the second half. And hopefully with each day, practice or game experience, he's going to keep getting more confidence in himself. And he's moving around, he's throwing the ball, and just looks a lot more relaxed out there. And that's a really it's easy for me just to say, hey, relax, enjoy the game, all that stuff. Good luck. Now here's the ball, go do it. A whole different story. But credit goes to him on that one.
Hey, Coach, Matt Begallen with the Daily Iowan. Jeremiah Pittman, he got some action on Saturday. Doesn't have a whole lot of starts in his career, but how valuable is the patience that he has to have, to sit behind the depth chart, and also what is his potential? Yeah, well, his potential remains to be seen, but he's improved with every step of the way, and
We have some guys talking about a couple of young guys who played Saturday, but most of our guys, our majority of our newcomers this year are going to be redshirting. It looks like, you never know what's going to happen, but it looks like that, and that's kind of been the way in our program for quite some times. And when you get behind good players, we got two pretty good defensive tackles right now. So, for him to start may not be realistic at this given point. But it's all in front of him right now, and he's working hard every day, and he's a much better player than he was a year ago at this time, and it's great to see. It's not a surprise because he's got a great attitude and works hard. But there's more of a process for most players, not all, but most players have to just kind of work at it, and when they get their turn, go in there and play well. And it was good to see Jeremiah. I'm not surprised, but it was good to see him do a good job out there.
Adam Jacoby, Hawkeye Beacon. Kirk, last time I'm going to ask about watching from home, but from your perspective as a football coach and having to, watch a game on TV, not to disparage your TV partners or anything like that, but from your perspective, do you feel like you are missing the most versus, being able to watch the game on the sideline?
It's just a totally different experience. You feel totally disconnected. And I thought about that a little bit. Like, if I were retired, the difference is like you're not invested the way you are if you work here every day and are with the guys every day. So the closest thing would be like one of our kids' games. You're kind of invested, you're a parent, but it's still not the same as when you coach and work with people on a daily basis in a really intimate environment, and that's what we get to enjoy, and that's the best part of coaching. It's just that, the times when we get to shut the door and just do what we do or practice and all those kinds of things. So when you have that, then it's really strange to be disconnected. And it was code of silence on Saturday. So, left the hotel Friday night, which was strange. And then, sleep in your own bed that night, that's strange. And then basically wasn't sure what to do all morning. And then the game came, and then I really wasn't sure to do at halftime. So it was kind of interesting. But it all worked out. It all worked out. And then it's even stranger after the game because that's, either it's a really good time emotionally or a bad time, and those highs and lows make it really special. So you miss out on all those things, and and it wasn't the same seeing everybody on Sunday. It's just that time gap in there. It's a little bit different, but it's over, and hopefully something I'll never experience again. We'll see how it all goes. Yep.
Take a few more questions. We'll start with Matt. Coach Matt Randazzo, WQAD. Not to take you back home again, but you mentioned watching on TV.
It's a nice place to hang out. Mary's built a nice house.
You mentioned TV. Did you listen to the radio at all? And if you did, your thoughts on the new color commentator in the booth and how he did?
Yeah, I saw Pat at the Hall of Fame luncheon on Friday, and that was enough. Right there. No, I'm joking, but first of all, it was great to see both Adrian and Sean go in, and great to have them back and their families back. That was outstanding. And Adrian's high school coach was back also, which was really neat. He came up from St. Louis, so that was great. Pat did a great job at the luncheon, and as you know, Pat gives you that crazy demeanor and all that stuff, but he's a pretty deep thinker. He knows what's going on, and I'm guessing, I haven't heard any reviews, but I'm guessing he did pretty well. My prediction is he will do really well in the future, and he followed a great guy, Ned Podolak, certainly.
Chad Leistikow, Des Moines Register.
Fly followed me from my office, I think. Yeah.
There's always one fly.
There's always one in my office, too,
I think it's the coffee.
Only good thing about winter. Yeah. Okay.